We have known that Johnny Manziel needs to answer a lot of questions about his commitment off of the field. The question is, can Johnny Manziel be a grown-up? However, everyone is also wondering, can Johnny Manziel actually play football? Kind of a big, important question if you ask me. Well, this weekend, Johnny Manziel played in an NFL Development League spring game. It's a development league. It's for guys who are kind of on the bubble. They're not quite NFL players, but they want to be. And after watching that game, we have some questions answered about Johnny Manziel. Now, the short answer is that Johnny Manziel, he doesn't really look like an NFL quarterback. I'm not confident in Johnny Manziel's ability as an NFL quarterback. So here's what I saw. Actually, the first thing I should say, because I know people are going to use this when they come to his defense. Everybody who's a fan of Johnny Manziel, everybody who is a supporter of Johnny Manziel is going to come out and say, Johnny Manziel, the offensive line was awful. Yeah, I agree 100%. Johnny Manziel's offensive line was atrocious in the spring game this weekend. And all the Johnny Manziel apologists are going to continue to yell that at all of us. They're going to say, the offensive line, the offensive line, the offensive line. Okay, great. The offensive line for Johnny Manziel was terrible. I'll give that to you. I admit that. Fine. But I'm watching Johnny Manziel, and he does not have an NFL arm. That you just have to take my word. You can buy that or not. Another excuse that people are making is, it was windy this weekend. The game was really windy. There were 30-mile-an-hour winds. That's the stupidest excuse I've ever heard in my life. NFL games are windy. Have you not ever noticed that before? Go to the Meadowlands. It's like a swirling tornado in there. Johnny Manziel showed us that he's okay. He's fine. Johnny Manziel went 9 for 15. He had 83 yards passing and a touchdown. And honestly, he was worse than the stats show. The stats don't even do him justice how bad he was. I mean, Johnny Manziel was inaccurate. He almost got a guy killed with a bad throw. Johnny Manziel's arm strength was awful. And his attempts to scramble were mostly failed. I'm not trying to hate on the guy. I'm just being honest. I don't say what you guys want me to say. I say what I believe. I think that's short term that hurts me because people want to hear me say, Johnny Manziel is the greatest thing ever. And when I don't say that, people get angry. However, I think long term it's right because over a while, I'm not BSing you. I'm saying what I actually believe. And then when I watch Johnny Manziel, it's not good. It's not good. It's not terrible. Like he could play in the CFL maybe, but it's not great. This is not college anymore. I mean, Johnny Manziel failed to run this weekend, and these are against guys who are in the NFL Development League. These are not NFL players. Imagine if he rolls to the right and Myles Garrett's chasing him, or Bradley Chubb, or Von Miller. I mean, he's not going to make it happen. He's not going to make it work. And you look at the way Johnny Manziel's running with the ball. He's got one hand on the ball. That's terrible. That's dangerous. Sam Darnold can't even do that, and Sam Darnold's twice his size. I mean, it's a problem. Johnny Manziel fumbled. Johnny Manziel should have had 2 interceptions. It's not good. And there's a touchdown Johnny Manziel threw. He rolled out to the right and threw a touchdown. And if you're not watching the whole clip, it looks like Johnny Manziel scrambled and he made a touchdown happen. It was a designed quarterback rollout. He's not making plays when he just runs around on his own. In fact, when Johnny Manziel runs around, it doesn't work. Johnny Manziel did not look like an NFL quarterback. Again, if he can't run against development league players, that's a problem. Because that's Johnny Manziel's niche. Like the one thing Johnny Manziel's good at. He may not be precise. He might not have a great deep ball, but he can always run around and make plays. And against even NFL development league guys, Johnny Manziel still was not able to make that happen. So supposedly the Raiders are interested. Supposedly John Gruden and the Raiders are interested in Johnny Manziel. I like that. I think that would be a good fit. John Gruden could help Johnny Manziel, not just the football player, but also the person off the field. I think John Gruden would be a good influence for Johnny Manziel. Now, my hope is that Johnny Manziel goes to the Canadian Football League. I like Johnny Manziel's scrappy style. I like how he plays, and I want to watch him play. I want to watch Johnny Manziel play football. I mean, it'll probably be probably be, I can't even talk. It would probably be on YouTube watching some kind of highlight reel. I don't know. I'm not going to sit down and watch a Canadian Football League game, but I want to see him. I think it'd be a shame if Johnny Manziel was on the bench somewhere simply because he's good enough television that I want to see him. I want to see Johnny Manziel play, and I want to see Johnny Manziel go to Canada and play in the CFL. I think that's where he's the best fit. I think that's where he could actually get playing time, and that's what I want from Johnny Manziel. I don't want to watch Johnny Manziel sit on the bench for the Raiders. I want to watch Johnny Manziel play actual professional football. Because he might not even make, if he gets an offer from the Raiders, he might not even make their roster, and that would stink. So I hope Johnny Manziel doesn't waste his time. I want to see him go to the Canadian Football League. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this show as much as I do, help me grow by telling your friends about this show. That's a crime. It rhymes. I know. Move on. Share with your friends on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow by telling your friends. And if you really like this podcast, subscribe to it on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube.